Hey guys, it's Kevin. It's going to be another movie review for you guys, and I know you guys have been looking forward to me reviewing this movie, and I've been looking forward to reviewing this movie to you. However, I really wasn't looking forward to this movie, to be completely honest, and that movie is Jurassic World. Now, I'll tell you guys why I wasn't looking forward to this movie. First of all, if you look back at my movie review, my classic movie reviews, I wasn't the hugest fan of Jurassic Park. I think it's a really good movie. I can totally appreciate, all the technical advancements, things it did, how much it did for, technical stuff and the effects it had and things like that, and the acting and the screenplay. I can totally, go with all that. But I wasn't like mind blown by it. I don't think it's one of the greatest achievements of all time. I think it is a great movie. If I had to rate that film, I'd give it an A minus. Jurassic World, though, I really didn't feel like it needed another sequel. In fact, I thought it just stood out fine on its own. I don't think it needs other sequels. I never was okay with Jurassic Park becoming a franchise, really. I never saw the point of it. But Jurassic World, when this was coming out, this movie did not look good to me. I thought it really looked bad. It looked really forced. It looked really dumb. And I really was not looking forward to it at all. If you guys know, it was probably like my least anticipated movie the entire summer. Honestly, it probably was. Everyone else was like, oh my god, I can't wait for it. Well, I was just like, alright, it's coming out. We'll see how it is. And how was Jurassic World? It was surprisingly a really good movie. Now, this movie has tons of problems that I'm definitely going to address. It is no way a perfect movie. It is not one of the best movies of the year, unfortunately, and it could have been a lot better had it definitely has a lot of missed potential with the problems that it has. Let's get to the plot of Jurassic World, though, which, honestly, I think is really cool. I kind of like the plot. I think it definitely is very well done. 22 years. Wow. 22 years since the last Jurassic Park, basically. InGen has opened this fully functional park named called Jurassic World, which is basically basically what's his name? Um, it basically is what the original creator of Jurassic Park 1. I can't remember his name right now, but you know what I'm talking about. It's originally what he wanted it to be, and basically that's what they've made it to be, basically. And basically we have this character Claire, who's like the overseer of the entire theme park. Her two sons are coming to visit her, basically, but she's so like involved in looking at the park that she's really not looking at them. They're much more concerned about this thing called the Indominus Rex, who is this big thing that is going to be like the attraction of the park. However, and so basically they hire Owen Grady, who is a Velociraptor trainer, to basically see if he can, look over the park as well, because he has experience with this kind of thing. However, things go terribly wrong when the Indominus Rex ends up getting on the loose, and they basically have to go after it, and that basically is the plot of, and basically save the park, and that basically is the plot of Jurassic World, which honestly is really cool. The problem with this movie is that it's filled with tons of stuff that it does not need. Let me talk about the best thing about this movie by far. The effects are incredible to this movie. They are as good as you think they could look. They look absolutely incredible. They really do. I think that the effects are fantastic. I will admit the first one did have better effects, which is kind of shocking, but the effects do look incredible in this movie. They look great to see. When you were seeing the dinosaurs was what I wanted from this movie, and I thought that was really cool. There are some truly amazing action scenes in this movie. I will definitely talk about that, but the effects are great. Besides the effects, though, everything else is just good. However, let's get to the acting here. By far, the best acting in this movie comes from Chris Pratt as Owen Grady, who you can tell was having so much fun with this movie. I mean, he was promoting the shit out of this movie. He was saying this is exactly what he wanted to be. I believe when this movie came out, he actually cried because he didn't realize how amazing, his character really. And his character is just so fun. Everything about his character, I just loved his character. I mean, he basically, and yeah, the Velociraptor trainer did seem kind of dumb, but it actually works really well. You see this bond he has with them. It's actually really cute. I mean, he really is like the alpha to them, basically, and he's like their father, and it was really cute. There's a really good scene in the beginning where he's training all the Velociraptors. I definitely thought he did a very good job with that, and he was just really cool, and he had some really badass action scenes as well. He really did a fantastic job in commanding the movie, and I thought he was really good. Bryce, everyone else in the movie was really good. Bryce Dallas Howard was really good. The only thing with her character is that the device with her character has just been done to that. The idea she's this workaholic, it's like, the most cliched thing you could have done with her character. It only seemed to me like they introduced this so she had more of a story, because she didn't really have much of a story then beyond being the manager. And I thought she was good, but not that good. The chemistry between Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, it is very forced. They don't really have very good chemistry. As friends, they do, but when they try to give us, like, this forced love story between the two, it just wasn't working. And when they're talking about past memories that they've had, it didn't really work. And it's not so much the actor's fault, it's more the screenplay. I'll talk about the screenplay. Nick Robinson and Ty Simpkins as, Claire's children, they're fine, but they only seem like they were in the movie as a device. They're not really characters, they're more of devices, just so Claire can have some sort of conflict as a character. But why does she need a conflict? We already have a conflict with this Anonymous Rex. That should have been her conflict. I didn't really care about them, and plus, nothing really of interest happens with them in the movie. There's a random plot development that I didn't really care about, and I just didn't think they were handled very well at all. They didn't need the amount of story that we needed with them. I found them to be very boring, and at times kind of annoying, especially, Zach. I mean, this whole time Gray is just loving everything about the park, and Zach's just like, oh, this is for kids, and I'm like, oh, that's the kind of movie we're watching, and I really didn't like that. I didn't like how he was just complaining the whole time. I thought it was really annoying. I didn't really like that. However, the one character I could not stand in this movie was Vincent D'Onofrio's character, and yeah, I get that he is, like, the villain in the movie, but let me explain what he wants to do, and it's completely ridiculous. He wants to use these raptors as military weapons. What the fuck does that mean? I mean, seriously. I'm sorry, guys. I just, like, spit everywhere. That was disgusting, but I don't care. That is the most ridiculous thing I have heard in a long time. You're telling me these dinosaurs, who, yes, were trained by Owen, they're all gonna be, you know, trained? No, they're gonna turn against the humans. They're gonna eat the humans, okay? Eventually, they're gonna get tired of what they're doing. They're not in their natural habitat. Like, what do you think that's gonna happen? I couldn't stand his character. There's a really forced subplot with his character, and I really did not like him at all. Also, Irrfan Khan is Simon Maserati. They try to make him, like, the comedic part of the movie. It really didn't work. He's, like, the owner of the park. They try to make him, like, Richard Atkins, I believe his name was, from the first movie, and it really doesn't work. Nothing he said was funny. Richard Attenborough, they try to make him like that in this movie, and it really didn't work whatsoever. I didn't find him funny. I didn't find him interesting. I just found him annoying. I really did. And there was a scene with him where, you know, I just didn't really care about it, and I thought he was kind of annoying, definitely. Omar Sy's character as well, I didn't really care much about his character either. So overall, guys, characterizations are really bad in this movie. The directing, definitely, by Colin Trevarrow, is a big problem with this movie, because he didn't really go in depth with these characters. Giving them one little scene of just seeing what they're going through doesn't really give me much of their characters, other than, oh, they're just characters in this movie. You don't really care about their safety. You don't care, oh, are they going to be okay? You don't really care about that. You care more about the Raptors and Indominus Rex, but you don't really care about the characters overall, and I think it was a huge problem that Colin Trevorrow had with this movie. And I don't think Steven Spielberg was a big part of it. I really don't. I think that he knew some of the world, but he didn't really see most of it. This is more of an action movie, and definitely less of the intelligent movie that the first one was. Definitely, it's less of that, and definitely more of a, oh, we're a big action movie. It's definitely more of what it was. The directing was a bit all over the place at times, definitely, and I didn't feel the movie could have been nearly as intense as it would, because anytime the movie was starting to get really intense, it would cut to a really fun scene. I'm like, okay, this is cool that this is this fun scene, but why couldn't this have been earlier in the movie? The original movie was very slow-paced, in that the first hour is this really fun movie where we see the park, and then it gets really crazy. This movie gets crazy, I'd say, like, 30 minutes in, and it really didn't work. I mean, the tension was there, but it definitely wasn't as good as it could have been. I definitely didn't really like that the tension was there. I thought that was definitely a huge problem with me. I was like, there's tension, but there's not a lot of tension that I really, you know, there's too much going on, definitely, with this movie. That's one of my biggest problems, that there's way too much going on. The screenplay also was very forced. I thought that some of the lines were really good, but the movie just didn't really know what it wanted to be. I mean, it had some really dramatic stuff, and then it had some really fun stuff as well. This movie's a lot of fun at times. I was having a lot of fun watching this movie, definitely I was having a lot of fun watching it. But the screenplay felt very forced at times. As I said, there's way too many subplots, there's way too many things going on in this movie in general, and I wish they would have maybe toned it down a bit. Maybe if you just would have tweaked a few things, which I will talk about in the spoilers, I would have enjoyed a lot more, definitely. I just feel like the screenplay was probably, honestly, probably my least favorite part of the movie, which is really too bad because one of the best parts of the original movie is the screenplay, and here it's really not that good. Really, it's not. Cinematography, as I said, was fine. The score was a problem for me because, of course, we know the Jurassic Park score. It's not played in the right time in this movie, and I know it's a small complaint, but it's actually a big problem. I mean, that is a very iconic score. You're seeing the score, and they're just pandering over buildings. The kid opens the door, and you hear da 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 da, and all you see are buildings. Literally, that's all you see. And there's another scene where the kids are on this monorail, and you see these dinosaurs, and I'm like, they should have used that scene in this, they should use that score in this scene, then it would have been like, okay, now I'm watching a Jurassic Park movie. That really did not work for me. I'm like, that's where that scene should have been. And they're using this music the music they used was really good, but I just feel like they should have used that score more throughout the movie. Definitely throughout it, and not just that one scene. Because I'm not kidding you guys, they play that score 2 times throughout this movie. I was kind of disappointed. No, I didn't want them to play it the whole movie, but at least sporadically throughout the movie and some earlier scenes would have been really good. I really would have enjoyed that, and I thought that would have been really good, and I didn't really like that. I felt like the tone wasn't very good there with where they wanted to put the scene. I'm like, oh, that's what you want to do, okay. And now I'm going to get to my problems in the movie, which have a lot of spoilers. I'm pretty sure a lot of you have seen this movie. I mean, this movie has apparently the highest grossing opening of all time. It's beat Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 2. It's beat the Avengers. Do I think it needs this? Yes, because the director will see that people want to see this movie, and maybe they'll try to tweak it a little bit. And I'm not saying I didn't like this movie. Before I go to spoilers, I will say I really enjoyed this movie for the most part. If I had to rate it, I'd give it a B-. I really would. Definitely a B- at best. It's not perfect, but I think that a lot of the things were really good here. You know, with Chris Pratt's character, I thought he was a lot of fun. There just wasn't enough of that in this movie. And now I'm getting into the spoilers, which really is what I have problems with. My biggest problems with this movie is that towards the end, when people were dying, they try to make it a big deal, and I'm like, alright, people are dying. Like, I expect people to die in a Jurassic Park movie. Like, I'm not surprised that they die in this movie. They make it a huge deal that this one girl dies, and I'm just like, she had, like, no development whatsoever. Why the fuck should I care? Because I didn't. I didn't care that she just dies. I wish I cared, but I just didn't. I really didn't care at all, and, you know, they try to make this huge deal that her personal assistant died, and all we saw was that she's just her personal assistant. We didn't see anything else for her character. If she would have been more than a bigger character, maybe built her up more, then I would have cared more. And also, the random plot twist that Zach and Gray's parents are getting divorced, I didn't really care at all about that. I didn't give 2 shits about that. I thought that was really dumb. And it just felt like they need to give them character development, so they put that random plot twist in there. I didn't like that at all. When Vincent D'Onofrio's character died, I didn't care. The worst death, though, by far, was Simon Maserani's death. When that plane was crashing, and he has this look on his face like, I was like, I'm done. This is ridiculous. I literally laughed at that scene, and I don't know if it was supposed to be funny, but nothing he said was funny, and that was hilarious. It was. I mean, horrible acting there. Like, oh my god, that was legitimately horrible acting. It really was. I mean, just his reaction to the plane crashing was so unrealistic, and I really didn't like it at all. I thought that was really dumb. And then when they sent a military crew to go after the, you know, raptors and things like that, I'm gonna say what I was gonna say with that when I first saw that, is that what the hell is that gonna do? Guns versus dinosaurs. I'm pretty sure you're gonna die if you have a gun, okay? You shooting at dinosaurs is not gonna do anything. Literally, it's not gonna do a thing. I mean, there are these big, powerful things, and you're shooting bullets at them. It's not gonna do anything, and it's not gonna change the situation or make it better. I really thought that was dumb. I will say that the ending to the movie with the T-Rex coming in, you know, being and the Raptors taking down the Raptors taking down the Indominus Rex, and you weren't sure if, you know, they were going to be okay. That was really thrilling. That I really loved. I wish we would have gotten more of that in the movie, and less of, let's focus on a pointless relationship, let's focus on stuff we don't really care about. that I thought was really well done. I definitely really enjoyed that, I have to say. I wish we would have had more of that in the movie. But the ending where, the T-Rex came down and basically, saved the day, and then Blue saved the T-Rex and everything, and then basically what do you call it? The Mosasaurus came down and dragged the Indominus into the water. It honestly was a truly epic showdown. I thought that was awesome the way they handled it. I wish the rest of the movie would have been that good. I really do. I think the way the movie ended was really good, and I definitely really enjoyed that. Up to that point, I was kind of getting lost, though. I was like, I don't really care too much about this. I wish I would have cared, but I just didn't care as much as I wanted to. Honestly, I wish I would have cared more about that, but I just didn't. So overall, guys, I really enjoyed Jurassic World. I think it's a really good movie. I don't think it's a bad movie. I think it has a lot of problems, with the screenplay and the writing. Maybe tweaked a few things. I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more. It still is highly enjoyable, highly entertaining. It has the action that you want in a Jurassic Park movie. It doesn't really have the emotional impact, though. A lot of those twists they didn't give me anything new to their characters. They didn't make me care more about their characters than I already did. Like the kids, I'm just like, oh, pointless plot device. That really is what it seemed like to me. The relationship, oh, just a way to bring the characters together. There could have been other ways to bring the characters together. To me, that's what it seemed like. It seemed like they were just trying to bring characters together and how they were connected, so they just randomly did plot device like that. I can't stand it when a movie does that. I really can't. And again, things like Claire being a workaholic could have been executed had it not been as cliche as it was, because they could have done it in a better way. Inside Out, I know, does that, but I've heard that movie's really good, and I heard they handled it in a much better way than it did in this movie. So overall, guys, I thoroughly enjoyed Jurassic World. I think it's a really good movie. I do recommend you guys check it out. It won't disappoint you. It is a fun movie overall. It doesn't have all the deep stuff that you want, but I overall think it is highly entertaining. So that basically is my review of Jurassic World. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie. You have seen it. Did you have the problems that I have with it? It definitely doesn't hold up to the first movie. I don't think it will. But does it need a sequel? No, I'm fine. It got two possible sequels because maybe they can give me a great movie. Because this was a really good movie, but I wanted a great movie, and I really didn't get that. I really wanted a great movie, and I'm be interested in seeing what they will do in a sequel. Honestly, I'd be interested in seeing that, and I thought that was also... The Indominus Rex as a dinosaur was very well built up. I do have to say that. I forgot to say one other thing with the Indominus Rex, though. The reveal of the Indominus Rex, there really is no shock or mystery to the movie with the Indominus Rex because they showed everything in the trailer, and it was really pissing me off they were doing that. With the Indominus Rex being like, oh, they ate the sibling. Like, we knew this stuff. We saw it in the trailer. They didn't really build it up to be, anything big because we already knew what was going to happen with the Indominus Rex from the trailer, and that kind of disappointed me that they did that. But overall, guys, Jurassic World is highly entertaining. It's a really fun movie at times. I do really recommend you check it out. If you can overlook these plot devices that I personally have problems with, and I might be being a little bit too nitpicky with it, but I look for, character development, things like that in movies, rather than, I really want awesome action, but I want really developed characters as well. It's just how I am with movies. But that basically is my review. Hope you guys enjoy it. I will see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Pretty Little Liars, and I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.